Hello Steelers, and welcome to this preview video of the brand new Wargaming campaigns by Henry Hyde, the Wargaming guru himself. Now, I'm calling this a preview because this book is 500 pages long. It arrived on Saturday, which is only 2 days ago, and I have not had a chance to read it. I would like to have read it by now, but I certainly haven't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically take you through the book, have a look at it in its prime state, and we'll just, we'll talk about it from there. I wanted to mention just now, the book has taken Henry, I think, about 8 years or so to write. Previous to this, the book he had out was this one, the Wargaming Compendium, should I say, and this has been around since about 2013, I think it was first published by Pen and Sword here in the UK. And you see this everywhere. It's well worth getting a copy of if you do see it at a show, or if you can get it on Amazon or wherever. You can probably get it quite cheap if you shop around. It originally was published at £35, but I'm fairly sure I paid a lot less than that for it these days. This is a great book even for wargamers old and new. Even if you've been wargaming for 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years, this is still well worth buying, and it's just a really nice read. It's like having Grandad tell you a fireside story. You can almost read it in Henry's voice. It's brilliant. And this is absolutely packed full of information as well for new wargamers, and is well worth just picking up because it's a really nice overview of the hobby itself. Everything from historical to fantasy to sci-fi, it's all in there. And if you don't have that on your shelf as a wargamer, then you're probably doing something wrong, to be honest. And as I say, I have read most of that, so off the back of that I've kind of got an idea of how this one is going to be, and I think this is going to be pretty good as well, and I'm looking forward to actually getting into it and just having a good read of it at some point. It's going to be a bit of a book where you'll be able to just dip in and out of it as needs be. You really don't, you don't need to sit down and read it from end to end. There is plenty of bits and pieces you can just draw out of it, because it's more of a reference than a novel, I would say. So on the back we have the chapters that are in the book, so I'll just read these out and then you kind of know what we're getting into, and then I'll show you the book itself and show you some of the stuff inside it. So it says, an introduction to campaigns. Number 1, what are war games campaigns for? Number 2, campaign generalship, mastering strategy. 3, the march to glory, campaign rules for all the ages, so there's probably historical stuff, and I'm sure there's going to be fantasy stuff in there as well. 4, where are we going? Creating maps with your miniatures forces to fight over. This is one I'm particularly looking forward to reading because Henry, being a graphic designer, produces some really nice maps and some great work, that being his primary trade. So I'm going to be looking forward to seeing some of that stuff. With or without umpires or opponents, the role of the umpire, and also solo campaigns. Obviously umpires are very good when you're playing like a Kriegspiel type of campaign where there's a lot of fog of war and you don't really know where your enemy is. I think that will be interesting. We the People, personality driven campaigns, probably going along the lines of some of the larder games where there's a lot of personalities in those. 7, skirmish and role-playing campaigns. You don't need thousands of troops to play campaigns, so you don't need those vast armies. You can just do campaigns with small numbers of figures. Number 8 covers whether the weather may be wet or fine. It's considerations for climate, of course. 9 is the war at sea, naval aspects of campaigns. 10, air power, adding aerial warfare to campaigns, so we're building up all these different aspects. 11, digital campaigns, making use of modern technology. That would be stuff like, I would have thought, things like Discord, which I've used for Kickstarter, for Kriegspiels and for playing games. And doing campaigns online is probably one of the easiest ways to do it if you have an umpire, so again, you really got that fog of war going on there. 12, making the campaigns work. He says the War of Fulton and Succession. I'm assuming this is going to be part of Henry's imaginations games that he likes to play. 13 is standing on the shoulders of giants, learning from some of the well-known war games campaigns. We've got people like Don Featherstone, Charles Grant, all those were involved with Bruce Quarry as well. I think those were involved with making campaign rules and things, so I'm assuming that'll probably cover that stuff. And then finally 14, all roads lead to Rome, the sheer variety of ideas for campaigns. So that'll probably be, again, just be for beginners to dip right in. as I say, that's the contents of the book. Let's have a look inside of it. Let's see what Henry has come up with as a design, and also just have a look at some of these chapters as well in a little bit more detail. Okay, so here's the book in close-up. Let's have a little quick look at it. As I say, it retails for £40 currently through Pen and Sword themselves, but you could probably find it relatively cheap if you wanted to. So, one good aspect of this, and similar to the compendium, is everything is actually colour-coded. So you can go straight to the section that you want without too much trouble as well, without having to find it out elsewhere. So, as I say, very nicely laid out as well. I'm going to have a look at some of these particular pages in here, in particular the ones about creating, let me just find them, creating maps and things, because that was something I'm particularly interested in anyway. I'll say a lot of text. This is something that Henry has definitely slaved over for several years. I've opened it here. We've already mentioned Donald Featherstone as well. Storm of Steel's hero of wargaming we have here. So, as you can see here, we're looking at map making and things, looking at some of the older maps here. This is obviously for Peninsular Wars or the Spanish Wars of the Napoleonic Wars, and then we're talking about using Photoshop as well, adding bits and pieces here. So again, just a really nice introduction here to actual map making for people who've never probably done it before, making non-historical, fictitious maps as well, as we have. And then again, a little bit more about this. As I said, there is a lot of text in here, much more text than photos, which is a great thing. You know, you're getting something that is a big piece of work. So let's just jump through a few pages and have a look. What do we have here? Some more bits and pieces about mapping, of course. Then this is this Tony Bath's method of, I noticed there, the Bath method. This is, I think, there's using cards to lay out for maps, so you don't actually have to create the map itself, but you can just create them out of any kind of material that you have. Here we have some of Henry's made up maps here. Let's have a little look further on in the book. So that's going to be, like I said, that, from my point of view, that's going to be an interesting section anyway, just because I'm interested in making maps and for the channel, if nothing else at least. Let's have a jump through. What's our next section? Solo campaigns here. This is something that, again, I'm relatively interested in. We also can see Jeremy Short here, a chum of mine, another Lardy fan. Some nice pictures there of some stuff, isn't there? Again, I recognise a couple of people in those pictures. I'm assuming these are all Henry's photos. So at this point, just because I'm kind of opening the book almost for the first time with you as well, I'm not entirely sure what's in here. You could probably hear that in my narration at this point. Skirmish and role-playing. What was I looking for before? I wanted to have a look at the digital things. A lot of this stuff I will come back to. So we've got naval warfare here, aerial warfare. Again, a nice background to it. Although there's the Battle of Britain game by Plastic Soldier Company, which is a great game. If you haven't bought it, it's well worth having a look at. I've thought about doing air war campaigns before with Wings of Glory and things like that. Here we are, digital campaigns. This was a thing that I was particularly interested in, so having a look at this kind of thing. Let's have a look. Where do we have in here? So Discord, there's a good mention of Discord, which is a great platform. If you're not on Discord, it's a great platform for wargaming through, basically. We've also mentioned here, look, we've got the Kriegspiels, conducted by Nick and Rich of the Two Fat Lardies. I think this was the what was it? Fictitious World War II in nature, and they've run quite a few Kriegspiels online. I would like to get involved with some of those if I could at some point, because I'm sure they are done pretty well with those two guys. But yeah, here we are, you know, talking about some of the digital usages of 4 campaigns, and I think this is something that, you know, wargamers ignore at their peril, really. And even talking about social media here, this is, you know, things that we could quite easily play campaigns via social media. There's no reason why you couldn't. Forums and YouTube, etc. Look at that, there we have Sonic Sledge, a friend of the channel. Good to see him on there. Good to see him being represented. And obviously a big advert there for Henry's Battle Games. Okay, so like I say, as this is kind of like really I was right, my imagination's influences. There you go, the Fulton and Succession, making campaigns work. This is Henry's, I think it's Henry's baby, basically, these kind of things. But yeah, I think, as I say, this is a bit more of a preview, just to really kind of show you the kind of stuff that you would get in this book, rather than tell you in exact detail as to what you would get in this book, simply because I have yet to read it, but I'm looking forward to it. So I think it's well worth buying. I'll put a link in the description down below where you can buy it through Pen and Sword. As I say, you might want to search around. You might be able to get it cheaper elsewhere, but I don't want to do Pen and Sword out of any money, but they will have already sold their units anyway, whichever way. So here's your introduction. I'll just leave that there just for now, just so you can actually read it. You can pause the video and just read those, see what it is. And I'll wrap it up there, really, and I'll just say this is something, as I say, looking forward to getting into in a bit more detail. Unfortunately, I'm going on holiday later on this week, but this, I think, is probably just going to be a little bit too heavy for me to take with me, because it's such a weight. Otherwise, I would have liked to have sat and read this in the sun over the next couple of weeks. But that's the way it is. I might still try and sneak it across me if I don't know, throw some more clothes out or something like that. All right, check it out. If you haven't got, as I say, if you haven't got the Wargaming Compendium as well, that's worthwhile having a look at. See if you can pick that up. These 2 books, I reckon, should probably definitely be on your wargaming shelves, and I don't think you'd be disappointed in either one of them.